Hello everyone, welcome to the energy update for November. I am Lee, and every month I take the pulse on what might be showing up for us energetically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. 3 of the themes I'm going to focus on this month are the amplification of the mystic and mystical experiences, the speed of this multidimensional chrysalis transformation that we're all in, and revelations and reckonings around human health. Those are just 3 of the themes that we're going to be looking at in the update this month, so stay tuned for the full update. Hello everyone, welcome to November. We are almost at the end of 2025, a year that feels like it has gone so fast, right? For so many of us. I'm sure there are some of you who do not feel that way, but certainly the energetics and the speed of everything has been very interesting on a metaphysical level, and we're going to look at quite a bit of that today. Today's update is going to focus a little more on some of what's going on the higher dimensions and what's going on energetically, although I will touch on the human story playing out as well. But I actually have 9 themes this month, so I'm going to get to it because usually we only have 8. So theme number 1, we are in a multidimensional chrysalis as a world right now. We are in a multidimensional chrysalis as a world right now. And the message around this is, notice how fast you can change things, energy, experiences, and events. The gift of the chrysalis is speed. So a multidimensional chrysalis, if you think of a traditional chrysalis, it's when you are transforming from one state of being or one physical being into another. It's a metamorphosis process. And we know that on Earth right now, we are going through an elongated metamorphosis process. It isn't happening overnight in terms of seeing the kinds of changes that are beginning to come in. But what is happening is on an internal level, things are becoming very refined, very deep, and very fast. So a multidimensional chrysalis, why those 2 words together? When I received this theme, I was shown very clearly that we all need to remember that there is a lot happening all at once, all at the same time. And our point of focus can't be everywhere all at once. We have to focus on either what's in front of us or whatever issue is in our life. We will feel called to where we place our focus. But what you may have noticed, many of you, is how fast everything is getting. And I don't mean how many emails or how much information we get through the computer now compared to the old days. I don't mean that. I'm talking about the energetics that you'll be feeling at a psychic level, at a heart level, at a level of healing. So this multidimensional chrysalis means on any given day, you might go through 9 really significant things that 10 years ago, you would have maybe gone through 3 of those, and that would have been enough. But the energy frequency that so many of us are calibrating to right now is crystalline, which is very fast. Crystalline energy, the crystalline body, it's beginning to be accessible to more of us than ever before. And crystalline is a very fine energy, and like crystals, it works in the way of transmission and also being a conduit. So a crystal is a transmitter, and you and we are becoming transmitters in more unencumbered ways than we used to be. So as you awaken, as you ascend, as you get more in touch with the fact that this is actually a spiritual realm as well as a human realm, this isn't just planet Earth with humans and other beings on the planet doing their thing. There is a spiritual realm that's running through all of it and guiding us and feeding it every single day. More of you will start to notice the multidimensionality of life. And this is very important as it relates to one of our themes that I'm going to get to later. The traditional way that we are trained as humans is to see things through a very logical, practical, linear lens, to put things in boxes. Boxes don't exist where spiritual truth is concerned. There is no such thing as a box. On earth, there are many boxes. And sometimes those boxes have been helpful. They've helped us find our identity. But most of the time, those boxes are unhelpful. It's someone telling you who you are in a very limiting way, and you're thinking, oh, actually, I don't see myself that way, but they've decided. And that's the only way they can possibly see you. And usually any projection like that comes from another person says a lot more about the person's energy field than it does about you. So you yourself might be really changing the way that you're experiencing everything, relationships, your physical health, your physical body, where you live, what's going on in your life. And it doesn't mean that those things have to change, but it will mean that you're having a radically different experience of those things or those relationships. There are times in our life and moments in our life where we become vibrationally de-aligned with a person, a place, a thing. We've gone as far as we are supposed to go in that relationship, perhaps, or in that engagement with a place or a work or whatever it is. But then there are so many other times that we don't talk about quite as much, and we should, where you transform within the circumstance. And as you transform within the circumstance, and you don't have to leave, and someone doesn't have to leave you, everyone gets the opportunity to transform with you. So you become an emitter of this multidimensional possibility. The world is multidimensional, and our actual potential as humans is to be able to live in a more multidimensional way than most of us have ever been allowed to live before. That's where we are right now as a world. In this moment in time, the incoming energies, the influx of energy and the influx of higher consciousness is basically drawing us up and out of our limited human gravity and allowing us to reconnect with our soul selves. And there are more and more of us than ever before who are able to live in this, walk with this, be in this. Doesn't mean you won't regress. It doesn't mean you won't pop down into some of your human stuff, because that's quite normal. As we ascend and as we grow, as we open, we often then come up against whatever's in the way or whatever's stuck. We get the opportunity when we take a few steps forward to check our shoes, check our ankles, see if we've got any scrapes or wounds from the past that can't come with us into the future timeline. So we give them a little attention. That might look like you feeling really crabby one day, or feeling really upset, or not quite sure why you're crying. And these purges happen in response to the fact that we're awakening. So I'm going to go back to this message. Notice how fast you can change things, energy, experiences, and events. The gift of the chrysalis is speed. I've spoken to a few different people over recent weeks who are experiencing this. I know I have myself, and for me, I had to adjust my mind around it and not see it as a problem. More to go, wow, I could never have lived at this speed 3 years ago. So there is an adjustment in the animalistic side of us, the part of us that is as a friend of mine would say, a mammal body, that needs to rewire itself as our energy changes. So we are in a multidimensional chrysalis, so they're very energetic among you. You'll feel very busy right now. You'll be very busy with everything that's going on inside you, or perhaps you're playing this transformation out by immersing yourself in external things. But notice how fast you can change things. So if you catch your mind going, oh, I wish this was different, or oh, this is really annoying, snap out of it. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself for a minute, but do not forget your power. Do not forget your power. We're all tapped in to an intelligence and a power far bigger than us. But when you tap into it, it actually enlivens and changes you and allows you to maneuver things in your life without even knowing that you're doing it. So try and catch any old parts of your mind right now, or any old statements, and see if any of them want to be updated. The way I tend to notice it is something will come out of my mouth or a sentence, and I'll feel it's a bit off, and I'll be like, oh. It will be my feeling that will alert me to the fact that I just used some old words that are not going to come with me into the future. My way of describing something is no longer going to be that. So it's fast. It's a multidimensional transformation chrysalis. But notice how fast you can actually change things that you want to, and really sit in that power and knowing, and ask yourself, if there are things I want to change in my life, why am I not intending for that to happen and asking the universe to help me? Why do I want to more sit in my story of pain and sadness and tell all my friends that story? Because we know that story doesn't feel good. So there is an opportunity, not just this month, but in this period of the year and in the coming months, to really harness this ability to fast break chains and ties to what has gone on before. Okay. Theme number 2. Now, we are currently doing initiation. We just started, and initiation will be running through November if you want to join us. But there was something that came out in the channeled message yesterday. So initiation is a channeled mystery school. Every Wednesday, I go live with the Z's for normally an hour to 75 minutes. They'll channel a message that I don't know what it's going to be. And one of the things that came out yesterday, because they were really talking in the first broadcast all about how energy works and about how we create our reality, how it works energetically, how it works with the human mind, what we're moving through as we do it. And there was something they said that really struck me that I wanted to share here. Miracles are simply magnetic changes on the timeline. Miracles are simply magnetic changes on the timeline. So the message here is we're learning about how energy works as a world, and as we do, miraculous possibilities become available. So I think probably like many of you, I grew up seeing a miracle as divine intervention or something that came from out there that we were blessed with. And what we're actually learning is, in order to receive a miracle, you have to be in vibrational alignment to it. So the old way would have been sit and pray for a miracle and hope for the best and hope someone out there will help you. The new way is, I'm going to bring my energy field to a place of such aliveness and light as much as I am possible, as much as it's possible for me to do today. And I'm going to keep doing that. And eventually my life will start to feel and become more miraculous. Not because of any reason other than the fact that you've tapped into the bigger than yourself. And the bigger than yourself bestows bigger than yourself. It bestows the right person at the right time. It bestows some kind of blessing of abundance just when you need it. It bestows the group that you're supposed to spend time with. So miracles are simply magnetic changes on the timeline. If you like that idea, let that be a motivation to you to really start working with your spirit and your light. And I think in our everyday world, it can be hard to do that sometimes. You know, I was very much a closet spiritual person for, I don't know, probably about the first 5 years of my spirituality, apart from the few friends I had who also were into it. And then I was a closet channeler for a few years. So there will be those of you, many of you I'm sure, where there are people in your life you can't talk to about this because they haven't experienced it. So, you know, skepticism or disbelief is based on non-experience. It's that simple. And the difference perhaps between you and a judgmental skeptic or judgmental non-believer is you probably wouldn't try and tell someone else that their version of reality was wrong. You'd probably just go, oh, okay, well, that's where they're living. It's not where I'm living, but okay. So it's definitely time for those of you who are wanting to live more of a spiritual life, even if that's part-time, you know, you're spending a bit of time each day connecting with your soul or meditating, but you're starting to include a spiritual relationship in your daily life because you want to see the habit-forming effect of doing that regularly. Don't be surprised if you're a little less tolerant of the judges in your life. I definitely have compassion for people who are angry about spirituality or wounded about it, or who want to attack other people because they're in a horrible place. Nobody who is that judgmental is in a good place. They're in a horrible place. However, I also have a boundary as to what's allowed in my personal life. And that boundary is very much around if you are judging someone else's reality or pushing against who someone is, you're not a friend. You're not a friend. And so the reason I'm saying this is I've got an image of those of you who tune in on this having difficult conversations this month with a few people in your life who perhaps their negative attitude is something that it's hard for you to still be around. And again, it doesn't mean you have to break up with the person or the spouse, but it does mean that you have to bring yourself into the room a bit more. One of the problems with keeping things in the closet around your spirituality or anything else is that it's hard for you to change anything when you're hiding something. But the minute you stop hiding and you bring yourself forward, your energy signature goes into the room, your truth goes into the room, and it affects the room. And so many more people are capable of change than we realize. This has come up a lot through the energy updates the last 2 years. I have witnessed evidence of this in my own life, in people I work with, in people I know. More people than ever before are actually wanting to be in touch with something greater than themselves, whatever that looks like or whatever name that has. So you may have kept your mouth shut towards this judgmental person for the last few years because you got tired of the argument, or you may have made a decision. You might say, oh, well, he's never into this and he's always so judgy if I say anything. He may have changed. You don't know what's happened to him in the 2 years since you had the conversation. So give him credit and give him or her or whoever it is or they the opportunity to meet you. And if they don't meet you, that's great information. I have no problem with people not meeting me, but I'm not very tolerant these days of someone who wants to push against me. I did a lot of that when I was younger, when I was more wounded. I don't need to play that game anymore. And that's a state that you need to get to, because what it does is it also helps the other person free that energy in themselves. They're running it towards you because they're allowed. But if you have a conversation with them that says, hey, I don't need you to believe what I believe, but if you love me, you wouldn't judge and attack me for something that I'm telling you is an aspect of who I am. I'm not doing that to you, so why are you doing that to me? Do you know? Ask them questions about why they are saying these things, because they are probably doing it unconsciously. So if we ask someone a question about what they say, they have to think about it. A really good thing to do, and this is helpful because usually we're shocked if someone says something difficult to us. If someone says something a little outrageous to you and you're a bit shocked, the best thing you can do usually is to say to them, sorry, I'm not sure I understood you. Can you just say that again? Usually the person will not say it again in the exact same way. Usually when I've done that to people, if they've come in a bit harsh with something, they slightly back up or they slightly soften it. And what's happened in that moment is you've kind of brought them to awareness. So it's okay for you to bring people in your close life, maybe you're not going to bother with someone you just meet in the street and it doesn't matter, but people who are close to you, watch the hygiene of how you let people speak to and treat you, especially if you are someone who is a believer in treating others well. Notice where you're sending that out, but perhaps allowing in, not so good, because guess what? That's going into you. That's coming into you. So first of all, we clean up the side of us that goes, wow, why am I so used to being spoken to in such a belittling way? When did I develop that? How am I going to let that go? But equally, you have to boundary it from the outside. So many of you, I think, are going to be working on that issue in the coming month. Okay. Theme number 3, dissolving the grip of the mind. Why there is no right answer once you ascend. To be ascended is to be sensory rather than mental. So, I think for many of us, and I know this is true for me, for the longest time, I often felt like I needed to understand things, to allow myself to either feel them or be with them. And the beauty of spirituality and getting in touch with whatever you see it as, a higher power, God, source energy, whatever definition it takes for you, beyond the self, the mind starts to crumble in its certainty. The mind starts to no longer be as sure about anything because the mind is no longer allowed to be as in charge. You have a higher mind now. You have a higher heart now. You have an open intuition and third eye now. You have an open throat chakra. You're clearing all of your body. You're clearing all of your energy field so that what was past can remain past and you can move forward. So dissolving the grip of the mind, why there is no right answer once you ascend. Someone else's truth does not have to be yours. And the fact that they believe that their truth is the only truth, that tells you what a limited world they're living in. They're living in a very small world. They're living in their box. They're in the box. So this goes back to, I think, relationships with other people. You know, there might be people who want to tell you, this is how it is. This is the answer. That does not exist in a multidimensional world. There is an answer there and there's another answer there, and it depends on your perspective. It depends on what you're experiencing. So this level of certainty of the mind has actually been very helpful around societal control. And as societal control is going through a real reckoning moment right now, it's up right now. As we start to move through the breakdown of that over these coming years, so too will the righteousness of the mind start to lose its power. And there's nothing wrong with it losing its power, provided it's now sourcing its power from something greater than the mind, including the mind, but far greater than the mind. So something for you to sit with in terms of your relationships with others who might want to be right, and also your own relationship to things that you may have previously held as very staunch values. And suddenly you're like, oh, wow, I no longer believe that. Letting go of beliefs can sometimes be a little emotional or a little complex because the belief that we created in the past probably protected us, probably kept us safe, probably got us to here. So we don't have to be angry at old beliefs that we no longer feel are serving us now. Instead, we thank them. We thank ourselves for creating a construct that got us from there to here. But now we're here, we're going somewhere else, and something else is about to happen. So, okay, the last part of that was to be ascended is to be sensory rather than mental. I've always said, you know, occasionally people will say to me, oh, you'll really like them, they're spiritual. And I always say, what kind of spiritual? Because, you know, spiritual people are also human. And so humans are humans. And, you know, I've always said that I would much rather be stuck in an elevator with a kind, open-hearted person who is an atheist and doesn't believe in anything spiritual, or versus a person who is closed, wounded, but knows a lot of spiritual information. To me, the first person is far safer and far more spiritual. The second person is in spiritual ego, which you see a lot. And again, nothing wrong with it, it's just where people are at. But unless you get down into the senses, unless you allow yourself to go into the body, unless you heal, you aren't going to get there. You aren't going to get to the place you say you want to get to with your information. So to be ascended is to be sensory rather than mental. Your senses, your feelings, this is what we're bringing back online, not more information. We don't need more information. We need more experience in this realm. So, okay, theme number 4 fits with this too, actually. Healing sweep energy moving in. Healing sweep energy moving in. So there's going to be a lot of quick healings going on right now. A fast dislodging of that which is calcified. A fast dislodging of that which is calcified. So meaning something in you that's been there for years, or perhaps for lifetimes, that has just sat there inside you. Maybe it hasn't even been bothering you. It's just kind of there. But you're going to see something release. You're going to feel something release. There's a great availability right now around fast healing energies. So The old stuff will release fast. Don't resist it with fear. Allow it, breathe through it, use your practices. So the reason that that sentence is important, you will be potentially releasing a lot of fast old stuff right now. Fast releasing old stuff, excuse me. But you can resist that with fear of it. You can resist it with fear of facing something from the past. Usually what we're afraid of is the future. We're not afraid of what haunts us in the past. We're afraid of the unknown future we might move into if we let go of this thing. If we change our energy field so much that our timeline changes and our vibrational resonance changes, a lot of change is going to play out in our life. And if we don't think we're capable of handling change, or we feel a little nervous about it, we'll hold on to the wounds. Might be true for you. Might be true for you to hold on to some of those wounds, but I'm going to challenge you to really question that this month, because I think there will be some moments that will come up for you that might be really old healing, and just notice if you allow it to happen versus if you get scared and shut it down, or if you get scared of a feeling that's rising. And if you are scared of your own feelings, it's time to learn to work with your feelings. Move your body more. If you're sitting a lot, if you're not really moving, you've got to, generally people need to move, whether that's physical exercise or whether it's going for a walk or whether it's dancing around your house, but also to have practices, whether it's meditation, breath work, whatever it is that's going to work for you and unlock the door. A space that you can create for yourself where you can actually allow yourself out from the inside. Because we as a society have not been trained in that. So many of us have learned from the people who taught. Some of us now hand that on. That's the baton that we're now in the relay race. Those of us who teach these things to others. But all of us as human beings, whatever role you have in your work, we're all learning it. We're all going through it together. So there is a healing sweep energy moving in. Fast dislodging of that which is calcified. The old will release fast. Don't resist it with fear. If you feel fear, sit, allow yourself to feel, breathe, use your practices. Or find practices. This is a message for those of you who feel a bit unequipped listening to this. Go and find some practices that will allow you to feel your body, your energy field, your nervous system. Kind of make friends with that and a bit less friends with the mind and with information. That's overrated, especially right now. Okay, number 5. Rushes of love, gratitude, and wonder. Rushes of love, gratitude, and wonder. This will be very available throughout the coming months as part of the ascension process. So, you know, part of the deal with the healing and the letting go and all the stuff that we go through is as you lighten up, you start to see the miracle of life a little more. And even in very challenging times in your life, once you've developed that relationship with the gratitude of being alive and the miracle of being alive, you start to experience gratitude, wonder, love more often. It's the same thing that a child has. If a child is born into an environment where its basic needs are being taken care of and it's not being traumatized or abused in any way, the child will be curious about the world and engaging with the world, and it will feel bright about things and to things. And that's what we need to come back to if we haven't already. So rushes of love, gratitude, and wonder will be moving through you. And they are, if you like, the evidence of, I will say, how well you're doing. I don't like saying that because I don't want us to get into human markers of like judgment and scoring ourselves, because I think we have to, one of the biggest diseases we have as humans is self-judgment, and we need to let that go. But I'm called to say, and I'm told to say, that you're doing well. And those moments show you that something has changed inside you, that you're no longer just seeing life as this, oh, I'm in a body and then I do this and then I do this and then I do this, then I die. That's not life. That may be what some people are living, but when you start to open up spiritually, you realize it's way more than that. So more people are coming into that than ever before, but you yourself, there's going to be a very strong energy of love, gratitude, and wonder for lots of you this month. So I hope you enjoy those moments, savor those moments, and when they come, really allow yourself to feel them as much as you can, because the more you do that, the more they start happening more often. Theme number 6, revelations and reckonings around human healing and health. Revelations and reckonings around human healing and health. This is twofold. It's the increasing awareness of incoming advanced technologies that are going to be very beneficial to human health, but it's also revelations about areas that human health is under threat right now from man-made circumstances, experiences, and actions. So this will be a strong focus in the next few months. Between now and February, there's going to be a lot around this playing out in public consciousness. A continual learning is taking place on Earth around how human choices we are living with have been harmful to people's well-being. So the revelations and the reckonings is going to be a public theme over the next 3-4 months. It's already, there's already stuff I'm seeing kind of beginning, but apparently there's going to be a real rise around that in the coming months. So look out for that. Theme number 7, trauma, survival, and tragedy energy surfacing for review and release. Now, this may mean outer world traumatic events or events around survival will take place, or it could mean in your life you experience some energetic or literal replays around these energies. So the energies of trauma, survival, and tragedy. Now, I know these aren't energies any of us like. These are energies that have a lot of pain and fear and very desperate, deathly energy within them. So it kind of hits people's life force. And in the worst cases, of course, it removes people from the planet. And one of the things that I was curious about this theme when it landed on my page as I was typing, I didn't quite understand what it meant, but what my guides, the Z's, said was, much like you go through the healing of all of these different energy templates on Earth. So if there has been a lot of oppression of a certain group or a certain race or a certain gender of person, we go through these periods where all of that kind of gets amplified and it comes into public focus in a new way. So there will be some public focus around this. I'm clear about. I don't know what it will be. I don't know what it will look like. That's not what I'm given. I just get given the energy. But what I do get for you, because my focus is you, it could mean in your life you experience some energetic or literal replays around these energies. So trauma, survival, or tragedy energy. Now, if what plays out for you is more metaphoric rather than literal, you maybe have a memory of a trauma or something happens in your life that's not a huge thing, but it does surface some survival instinct or a tragedy energy in your body from the past. It's not that you're in a new tragedy, but it taps on a part of you that's still grieving around a tragedy. Remember, this is going to release fast. We talked about how fast healing is taking place. So try not to be scared of it if it comes up. And by all means, get the support you feel you need to help you through it. But be with it as much as you can, because it will be beneficial. It's trying to dislodge from you. It's not trying to re-traumatize you. It's trying to dislodge. So be with it as much as you can. Okay. Theme number 8, plot twists and stories that help you heal and see clearly. Plot twists and stories that help you heal and see clearly. Unexpected twists in your life, or just a deeper clarity around events you have experienced, will bring healing and an upshift to you. So again, this theme of healing is absolutely massive in November. So it's going to be very interesting to see what plays out for you and for you to observe that in your life. Plot twists and stories that help you heal and see clearly. I've sometimes had the experience in my own life of you have a friend or you have someone in your life and they talk about something, or they're in an experience and you suddenly see it as a mirror of your own life 5 years ago. And you remember the event through them telling you the story and it comes back to you. Sometimes it can be that subtle. It can be someone else is telling you the story of what they're going through, and it moves something in you because of resonance. It can be that gentle, but powerful. Powerful when you see it, because you go, oh, wow. Hearing them talk about, for example, the loss of a child has brought me back to my loss of the child, but I'm seeing it in a slightly different way this time because I re-encountered it with them. And I'm seeing that I'm in a different place. It doesn't mean I don't still miss my child. Of course, I will always miss my child. Or I may have developed more of a relationship with my child on the other side. So unexpected twists in your life or a deeper clarity around events you have experienced will bring healing and an upshift to you. Plot twists and stories that help you heal and see clearly. Speaking of the other side, the final theme number 9. I don't normally do 9. And in a way, this is a bonus theme because this has come up a lot in the last year in different ways. Amplification of the mystic. Amplification of the mystic. Mystical experiences, contact with the other side, and contact with those from other dimensions is becoming more normal. I go live in the portal every month for my portal members community, and we do a deep dive for, normally about an hour and 45 minutes. And one of the things I shared in the October live broadcast was this phenomena that more and more people are having, and I've got so many people in my own life who are going through this, I go through this, where the veil is now very thin with people we've lost. People who may have passed over, who are supposed to be part of our guide team or our angelic team, are trying to get our attention. They're trying to talk to us, support us, help us, aid us. And there are so many accounts now of people who've lost partners or family members or dear friends, even pets, and now they are having a relationship with them on the other side, and they're literally feeling the presence of them. This is what I mean about everything's getting faster, everything's getting more cosmic on Earth. It doesn't mean everyone is going to feel it. It doesn't mean everyone is going to be in it. But it does mean those of us who've been in it for a while, it's ramping up and more people are being initiated into it. So the amplification of mystical experiences. And the truth is, what used to be called mystical will soon be called normal. That's the thing. We're normalizing something that was given a box a long time ago. It's becoming more and more the norm for more people. So pay attention to that. You are not alone if you are going through that right now. You'll be surprised how many people are going through this. It's like when people come up and confess to me that they're a channeler because they know I do this work publicly. So I get all these people come and confess to me that they're channeling to run their business or, improve their life. There are so many people having these experiences. They're just not all talking about it. It's not yet normalized in conversation. So by all means, stay private if you want to stay private, but you may also benefit from connecting with others who are going through the same thing. And there are a lot of them out there, and there are more and more people speaking about it. So that's a great thing. Okay, that is the end of the energy update for November. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. I don't put any adverts in the energy update deliberately. So you just hitting the subscribe button for free really helps us with everything that we do here to reach more people. So thank you for doing that if you're watching right now and you just hit subscribe. And then the other thing we're doing right now is initiation, which is my channeled mystery school. You still have time to join. It's running live through November, but everything is archived. So you don't have to worry you've missed something. You will get replays. We'll give you an insight into that in just a moment. The portal, which I mentioned earlier, is my monthly members community. For 12 years, I have not only been going live and going deep with those who follow my work and want to go deeper with me, I also offer many different things inside the portal, not just workshops of my own, video workshops and bonus, all kinds of material from me in there. I've also got many guest teachers who are wonderful. And the idea being that the portal is a place to both support, inspire, well, 3 things: support, inspire, and educate. So hopefully it's a place you can deepen your education, be inspired, and also be supported. Support tools while we go through all of this, because that's really important. That's the Trinity: support, inspiration, and education. And lastly, musically, I'm so happy that so many of you have been enjoying Mantramorphs, which is the remix album for our Medicine Mantras Volumes 1 and 2. So delighted to see all your comments. I love a bit of ecstatic dance, beatsy music, so it's great to hear those versions out there in the world. And we also released a new single this past month, You Are Divine Live, which is a song by Katie Samwell that I duet with her, and we performed it live at Soul Magic in La Jolla, California. So you can find that on streaming platforms or on the channel Lee Harris Music on YouTube. Okay, lots of love, everyone. I will see you next month, or perhaps if you're in initiation or the portal, I'll see you sooner than that. But take good care of yourself and your loved ones and anyone else you feel called to this month.
When the world gets loud, we lose touch with our inner voice. In the quiet, transformation can begin. You are invited to experience Lee's Guides the Z's as he embarks on Initiation, a transformative 4-week mystery school.
I've been channeling my guides, the Z's, for 26 years now, and they bring in cosmic knowledge and frequencies of healing that open your energy field.
The unique piece that Lee brings to the channeled content is that he's an intuitive and an empath. He feels very deeply what others are feeling, and he's able to take that channeled content and then give you the practical plug-in for the 3D or for your everyday life.
I didn't know what to expect at all. I really was lost and confused. I feel like I'm finally becoming unblocked, and I'm opening myself up to so many opportunities that I didn't even know were possible.
It's offered a sense of safety and community that I didn't have before.
I wanted a little gas to keep going, and I feel like I've gotten jet fuel.
Over 4 weeks, Lee shares channeled wisdom from his guides, the Z's, along with a weekly calibration video where he helps you understand and apply the teachings in your everyday life. You'll also be welcomed into a heart-centered community space for support and reflection, with soulful music woven in to deepen your experience.
We all go through this frequency shift together. My job is to listen and to be a conduit for what wants to come through.
For an expanded, channeled transformation with Lee's Guides the Z's, join us for Initiation 2025.